Hi, my name is Nicolette Kirts. I am actually formerly Nicolette Lewis. I just recently just got married a few months ago on July 7th. And one of my biggest goals throughout my entire life was to do family history and to retain a whole bunch of family history. One of the cool things that really got me started was that my grandpa works at the Family Genealogy Center at the Stake Center just here in Los Angeles. And having been my husband is actually a convert. And so his family aren't members of the church, and they don't really understand the gospel as much, and why we are very strong, very family oriented. So with that, I decided that I wanted to start doing my husband's family records, start recording them, get pictures, journals, everything you can think of, and start doing temple work for them. And I thought that was a really cool thing to do and a great way to integrate something for them to get to understand why we are so interested in genealogy. So, having been said, my in-laws were very interested about genealogy, and so with that, I started asking them questions. I started asking about family history, any interesting facts, and it was really cool to get to know where my husband came from and where he started and where how his family came to Americas. So with that, I had asked if they had any journals, pictures, um, any any record of any of their ancestors, any valuable information that we could use to start building a family tree for my husband. So with that, we were able to get really cool stories about his family. And when I asked my mother-in-law to get all those pictures and collect it for me, since she was quite far away from me, so she was able to collect everything. So when I came up there, I got all the information. I was able to scan everything. I was able to get some pictures and journals. As of right now, I don't have my. There is a booklet that she had gave me that she had collected over time. So for me, she gave me a wonderful opportunity for me to teach her about genealogy, but also to retain that information for my husband. So when we started going into all the family history, pictures, and blah 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 blah, one of the things that I found out was such a cool, interesting fact that I didn't know about my in-laws is that they actually had, which I don't have right now since they're quite far away. I wasn't able to take it home, but it was a really big book, and it was actually um, my husband's aunt, who had recently passed away, had recorded every single person in her family, and it was recorded within the Salt Lake Genealogy Center. So it was really cool. So everything was there. It had all the stuff, all the ordinances there, but she didn't know what it was. She just put the names on it and did it. So this gave me a wonderful opportunity to have actual valuable records. So I was actually able to scan it at the church, and so it is on the family history site. And with that, I was able to get some pictures and all this stuff, and it was just a cool, wonderful opportunity that that my husband's aunt was able to collect, and something that we were able to keep. Um, they were so fragile that I couldn't even touch them. I was so scared to touch them. These pieces of paper that were very just rustic, and it was just really cool to have. I have an example. I scanned this man. This man was actually family on my husband's family history, and it was a really cool story about him. And the interesting fact was he was in in the Great Depression, and it talked about how he went through the Great Depression in his journal and all that. So I got to have a lot of opportunities to learn so much about my husband's ancestors, but also gave my in-laws as well as my husband the opportunity to teach them and see and learn with them about their family history. And when we were able to talk about it and teach more about the gospel and why we are so interested in genealogy and why do we want to retain everything, journals, pictures, everything. And that gave me the opportunity to teach them why do we do things in the temple. And so a lot of things got be able to, they were asking like, why do we go to the temple? Why do we go regularly? So with that, that gave us a wonderful opportunity to do some genealogy work and ordinances for my husband's family. So I have generations and generations and generations to do from my husband's family that I'll be able to do the rest of my life. So that will be something that I will be able to do missionary work, and that was just a wonderful way to retain but also involve my husband's family. As of everything is up on a blog, and I have everything on my family history site, and we've been working with my grandpa and everything with it, and so we are just working as it goes. But like I said, it just takes time, but there's so much. I can't record every single one of them. I only get a low amount of time every time I see my in-laws. With that, I bear my testimony that I know this church is true, and I'm so thankful for the temple and that we are able to gain a stronger testimony and be able to do family work for our ancestors as well as our spouses. I have a testimony that the Book of Mormon is true and that that the gospel and that the prophet is the only true prophet, and I have a testimony that we are able to do genealogy work and involve the Spirit and be able to do work for others as well as help others who aren't members of the church. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.